couldn't sleep that night. Something inside me whispered that Lena wasn't the same anymore. The way she smiled at her phone, the way she avoided my touch it, all felt off. I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the wall clock. 2:14 a.m., my heart thudded, like it wanted out. I whispered to myself, I'm losing her. I picked up my phone, scrolled through her photos, messages, nothing. She was careful. Too careful, Ethan. You're overthinking, I muttered. But my gut disagreed. That's when a thought crossed my mind, something I never imagined I'd do. A camera. A hidden camera. My morals screamed no, but my heart said, you need to know. The next morning, I ordered a small wireless camera online. When it arrived 2 days later, I held it in my shaking hands. This isn't right, I said aloud, but being lied to is worse. That evening, Lena was heading out for a girls' dinner. She kissed my cheek and said, don't wait up, baby. I forced a smile. Sure, have fun. The moment her car left the driveway, I walked into her room. Her perfume lingered in the air, sweet, familiar, and now unbearable. I stood near her nightstand, staring at the corner where I planned to hide the camera. This is wrong, I whispered again, gripping it tight, but I still did it. I placed it behind the decorative flower vase near her dresser, angled toward the bed. My hands trembled as I adjusted it. My reflection in the mirror looked like a stranger, someone desperate, paranoid, heartbroken. When I finished, I stood there for a moment. Please, I prayed, let me be wrong. 2 days later, she said she was tired and wanted to rest early. I kissed her forehead and said good night, pretending I was going to work on my laptop. But as soon as she slept, I opened the live feed from the hidden app on my phone. Nothing unusual, she was sleeping peacefully. The next day, I had to travel for a business meeting. I told her I'll be gone 2 nights. She smiled faintly. I'll miss you. I wanted to believe her. When I returned home, I sat in my car outside, staring at the house we shared for 3 years. My chest felt heavy. I walked in, dropped my bag, and went straight to my room. The camera app was still on my phone. I opened the footage folder and clicked play. The first few minutes were normal Lena, talking on the phone, brushing her hair. Then she checked the mirror, smiled, and said softly, he's gone. A man's voice answered from off-screen, finally. My heart stopped. He walked in muscular, wearing a gym vest. He wrapped his arms around her from behind. You look so strong, she said, her tone playful, hungry. He laughed, flexing. You like what you see? I love your body, she whispered, running her fingers along his chest. He leaned closer, his lips brushing her ear. You're perfect when you lie to him, she giggled. He's too boring. You make me feel alive. I froze. My breath vanished. Every beat of my heart felt like a hammer inside my chest. No, I whispered. They kissed. It wasn't a mistake. It was routine. My hand shook as I fast-forwarded the footage. Her laughter filled the room. My fiancée, the woman who once cried saying she couldn't live without me, was now whispering another man's name. Tears blurred my vision. I slammed the laptop shut, then opened it again. I couldn't stop watching, even though it shattered me, when the video ended. I sat there for minutes, staring into the black screen. The silence was heavier than any scream. My phone buzzed. A text from Lena, good night, my love. Miss you already? I stared at it until my vision blurred again. You liar, I whispered. I walked into the bathroom, splashed water on my face. My reflection looked empty as swollen, lips trembling. I whispered to myself, you asked for the truth. Now live with it. My hands clenched around the sink. Why, Lena? Why? I thought of calling her, confronting her, screaming. But what would it change? The truth was already out. I sat on the floor, my back against the wall, my breath shallow. The quietness of the room felt like punishment. Around midnight, I texted my younger brother Daniel. Me, you awake? Daniel? Yeah, what's up? Me, she's cheating on me. Daniel. What? Are you sure? Me, I saw it. On camera? He called instantly. Ethan, listen to me. Don't do anything stupid. It's Too late for stupid, I said quietly. She already did it. He sighed heavily. Come stay with me tomorrow. No, I said. I need to face this alone. The call ended. I stared at the ceiling for hours, trying to remember when her love started fading. Maybe the moment I stopped being exciting. Maybe the moment I started being real. That night, I learned what real pain sounds like. It's not crying. Not shouting, it's silence. And in that silence, I realized something had died inside me long before I watched that video. I didn't sleep at all. The video kept replaying in my head. Her voice. Her laughter. That room. My room. I sat on the couch with the laptop open again, my hand hovering over the play button. You already died once, I whispered. What's one more time? I pressed play. At first it was quiet, just her brushing her hair, humming. Then another man entered the frame. Not the same one. Taller, wearing a suit. You're late, Lena said softly, turning toward him. Meetings, he replied, loosening his tie. But I couldn't stop thinking about you. You always say that, she teased. You're good with words, Ryan. You're good at making me forget my limits, he said, pulling her close. My jaw clenched. I love the way you make me feel, she told him, kissing his hand. I love your timing of love, she added, smirking. I paused the video. My hand covered my face. Timing of love? I whispered. What does that even mean? I rewound a few seconds. She laughed again. His hand ran through her hair like he owned her. I stared at the screen and felt something inside me rot. My chest burned. My throat tightened. 2 men, Lena. Really? The sound of her voice cut me again. He's nice, she said, but he doesn't make me feel alive. You do? I hit pause so hard the laptop clicked. My fist slammed the table. You liar. The walls didn't answer. Only silence filled the room, mixed with the hum of the ceiling fan. I leaned back on the couch, eyes burning. The video was still frozen on her smiling face. You used to smile like that for me, I whispered. I grabbed my phone and scrolled through old photos of our vacation in Miami. Her birthday dinner, the day she said yes to my proposal. Every picture was a lie now. My phone rang. Daniel, I hesitated, but answered. Hey man, you sound dead, bro. What happened? She did, I whispered. What do you mean? It's her. She's with someone else. No, not just one. Another man too. I saw it, Don. What do you mean saw it? I put a camera in her room. I know it's wrong, but I knew something was off. I had to know. Jesus, Ethan, what did you find? Enough to kill every memory I ever loved. Oh. Daniel stayed silent for a moment. I heard him breathe heavily on the other side. Come over, man. Don't stay there. No, I can't leave. Not yet. Why would you keep watching? Because I need to see how far she went. I need to know what I meant to her, if I meant anything at all, he sighed. You won't find answers in pain. I already did, I said coldly. She wanted excitement. She found it. I hung up before he could respond. My hand was shaking. I pressed play again. A new scene. Different day. Same betrayal. She wore my shirt, my favorite one. Ryan laughed as she adjusted the collar. This looks better on me, she said, giggling. Everything does, he replied. He bought it for me. Then I'll make it ours. My stomach turned. I slammed the laptop shut. The words kept echoing. Ours, ours. I stood up and kicked the table leg so hard the cup of coffee spilled. You wore my love for another man, I said aloud, pacing. You shared our home, our bed. What was I to you? My voice cracked. I sank to the floor, breathing hard. What did I do wrong, Lena? My phone buzzed again, her name. Lena, calling. Froze. I stared at the screen like it was a ghost. I didn't answer. I let it ring until it stopped. Then a message popped up. Hey baby, just thinking about you. Hope your meeting went well. I laughed a hollow, bitter laugh that filled the room. You're thinking about me? After kissing 2 men, I typed back, meeting went great. Learned a lot about people, then deleted it. I didn't send anything. I reopened the laptop. The paused image showed her smiling, lying on the bed I bought, whispering love that wasn't mine. I whispered, "You used to hold me like that." I don't know how long I sat there, minutes, maybe hours. The world outside faded. Just her face, frozen mid-laughter, haunting me. When Daniel texted again, I finally answered. "Daniel, please tell me you didn't do anything stupid." "Me? No, I'm just realizing things." "Daniel, like what?" "Me, that love isn't loyalty. It's just a word people borrow when they need something," he replied. "Daniel, don't let her break you. She's not worth it. Me. She already did." I closed my eyes and leaned back against the wall. I felt empty, like someone had stolen the air from my lungs and replaced it with silence. I whispered to myself, "You killed me without touching me, Lena." For the first time, I didn't cry. I didn't even shout. I just laughed again, a sound that didn't belong to me anymore. The kind of laugh you hear when your heart stops believing in people. And as the sound faded, I realized something terrifying. I wasn't angry anymore, just numb. I didn't think I had any tears left. But as I opened the last video, my pulse quickened. Her laughter echoed through the screen before I even saw his face. Caleb, my friend. My business partner. The man I'd once trusted to help me build my dream company. "You look different when you smile like that," he said, his voice deep, casual, confident. "That's because you make me feel different," Lena whispered, brushing her fingers along his chest. "Different how?" "Like I'm alive again. You're saying he doesn't?" Caleb teased. "He doesn't even notice me anymore." I paused the video. My hands clenched around the edge of the table. He doesn't notice me? I'd worked overtime for our wedding, fought to give her the life she wanted. She was telling him that I was blind to her. I hit play again. "I like your kissing style," she giggled. "Then maybe you should keep practicing," Caleb whispered, leaning closer. Her laugh, the same one that once healed me, now scraped my soul raw. I slammed the laptop shut, but the sound of her voice stayed. Looping in my head like poison, I stumbled out of my chair, my breath uneven. My reflection in the dark window stared back like a stranger. "What did I do wrong?" I muttered. "Wasn't I enough?" The walls felt smaller, suffocating. I grabbed my coat and left, slamming the door so hard, the frame shook. Outside, the sky opened up, pouring rain like it had been waiting for me. The streetlights blurred as I walked. No destination, just motion. My shoes soaked instantly, but I didn't care. Each drop hit my skin like punishment. A voice from behind startled me. "Hey man, you good?" It was a shopkeeper, closing up for the night. "I'm fine," I lied. "You don't look fine." "Need a cab?" "No, I just need silence." He shrugged, stepped back inside, and the door clicked shut, leaving me alone again. The rain got heavier. My phone buzzed. Was Daniel. I hesitated, then answered. "Bro, where are you?" "It's late. Walking." "In this weather?" "Yeah." He paused. "Did she do something again?" "Caleb," I said softly. "What about him?" "She's with him." Line went quiet. Then a low, angry exhale. "You've got to be kidding me." "Caleb, that's Snake." "Yeah, man, I told you to trust your gut. You always give too much." I thought love was supposed to be giving, not to the wrong person. I laughed bitterly. "Guess I'm learning the hard way." "Where are you?" "I'll come get you." "Don't," I said quickly. "I need to feel this." He sighed. "All right, but promise me you won't do anything stupid." "I won't." "Promise." "I promise." I hung up and kept walking. The city lights blurred through the downpour. Cars passed, spraying water over me, but I didn't move. I felt like the world was mocking me dry inside. Storm outside. I whispered her name under my breath. Lena, it didn't sound like love anymore. It sounded like a curse. My mind replayed every moment. Her fake concern when I was tired. Her kisses that now felt like distractions. Her "I love you" that clearly had expiration dates. I stopped at a crosswalk, water dripping from my hair. Across the street, a couple huddled under one umbrella, laughing. She leaned on his shoulder, exactly how Lena used to lean on mine. My chest tightened. I wanted to scream, but all that came out was a shaky breath. A taxi slowed beside me. The driver rolled down his window. "You need a ride, buddy?" I shook my head. "No, I need to keep walking." He shrugged and drove off. The rain washed over me like confession. I let it. Maybe it could rinse the images burned in my brain. Maybe it could wash away her scent, her voice, her lies. But it didn't. The more it poured, the more her face stayed vivid, laughing, whispering, alive with someone else. By the time I reached the bridge, my clothes clung to me like a second skin. I leaned on the railing, looking down at the rushing water. This is what she did, I whispered to myself. She drowned me while I was still breathing. For the first time, I didn't feel pain. I felt nothing, just cold, just empty. The rain hadn't stopped. It fell in sheets, blurring the city lights into trembling streaks. I sat on the cold bench, drenched, my clothes clinging to my skin like regret. Every drop hitting my face reminded me of her voice. "I'll always love you, Ethan. You're my forever." Now those words sounded like poison dripping from her lips. I whispered into the empty street, "You lied so beautifully." My voice cracked, lost in the storm. People passed by with umbrellas, giving me quick, pitying glances, but no one stopped. I didn't blame them. Who stops for a man who looks like he's already fallen apart? The sky lightened faintly, the color of grief fading into morning. I rubbed my eyes, unsure if I was wiping rain or tears. My phone buzzed again. Daniel's name flashed for the 5th time. I let it ring. Then I answered, voice barely a whisper. "Ethan, where the hell are you?" "Outside," I muttered. "Outside? In the rain?" "Yeah." He sighed. "Man, I've been looking for you all night. You can't just disappear like that." "I didn't disappear," I said quietly. "I'm just not me right now." There was silence. "Then where exactly are you?" I told him the corner. He said he'd be there in 5 minutes. I hung up and leaned back, staring at the sky. The clouds didn't care about heartbreak. They just poured. When Daniel's car pulled up, I didn't move. He ran toward me with an umbrella, his jacket half soaked. "Bro, what are you doing out here?" he said, kneeling in front of me. "Thinking," I whispered. "Thinking looks a lot like dying right now." "Maybe that's close enough." He stared at me, worry deep in his eyes. "Don't say that. I'm serious, Daniel. I don't even know who I am without her. You're Ethan, my brother. The guy who built a life from nothing." I shook my head. "She took that guy away." "Then take yourself back," he said firmly. "She doesn't get to decide who you are." I looked at him, my voice trembling. "You didn't see her, Dan. You didn't hear the way she said those things to them. Like love was some cheap game." "I don't need to," he said. "I see you. And you're still breathing. That means you're still in this fight." His words hit harder than the rain. I wanted to believe him, but belief felt like a luxury I couldn't afford. He put his hand on my shoulder. "Come on, let's go home. Get warm, eat something." "I can't go home." "Why not?" "Because everything in there reminds me of her." Daniel looked around, exhaling. "Then let's not go home. Let's drive. No talking, no thinking, just drive." For the first time in hours, I nodded. He helped me up. My legs felt heavy, but his grip was solid. We got into his car, the heater blasting against my soaked clothes. I stared out the window as raindrops streaked across the glass. Daniel kept his eyes on the road. "You don't have to pretend it's okay, man. You can break." "I already did," I said softly. "Last night. When I saw her with Caleb, then let this be the start of something else? You've already hit the bottom, there's nowhere to go but up. The up feels impossible right now."
Oh.
He glanced at me. It always does before it happens. The silence that followed wasn't empty, it was healing. For once, I didn't feel the need to fill it. After a while, he parked by the river. The rain had softened into a drizzle. We stepped out, and I watched the water ripple beneath the bridge. "She took everything from me," I whispered. Daniel stood beside me, hands in his pockets. "Then take yourself back," I turned to him slowly. The rain made his words sound louder, clearer. "You make it sound easy. It's not, he said, but it's possible. I stared at my reflection in the water. My eyes were hollow, but somewhere behind them, a small flicker remained. Maybe that was hope. Maybe it was just survival. I don't want to be her victim anymore, I said. Then don't be. The rain began to fade completely. I took a long breath, feeling something inside me shift, like a wound finally scabbing over. That night, under the fading storm, I made a silent promise to myself. I wouldn't die in her shadow. I'd rebuild in her absence. 3 weeks passed like fog. I worked, ate little, slept less. I told Daniel I was fine, but he knew I wasn't. Every night, I'd sit staring at my computer screen, pretending code could overwrite memories. That's when I got a new client. Corporate software firm downtown. The CEO wanted a full system audit. It was supposed to be just another job. Emotionless, mechanical. But the moment I walked into that glass building, I felt something shift. She appeared in the doorway, Mia Bennett. You must be Ethan, she said, smiling like warmth itself. Yeah, I replied awkwardly. I handle the back-end systems. Back-end systems, she repeated. Sounds complicated. Only when humans are involved. She laughed. Soft, genuine. It wasn't the flirtatious giggle Lena used to trap people with. This one carried calm, like she wasn't trying to impress anyone. She walked over, arms crossed lightly. You look like you've seen too many storms. Maybe I have, I said quietly. Then maybe it's time for sunshine. I didn't know how to respond, so I went back to typing. She didn't leave. She watched me with quiet curiosity. Do you always talk like that? She asked. Like what? Like every sentence hides a story. Maybe it does. Then one day I'll ask you to tell me one. Her voice was soft but carried confidence. I didn't look up, but I felt her smile before she turned and left. That first meeting should have ended there. But it didn't. Every time I came back to fix another issue, she was there asking questions. Bringing coffee, teasing me about my serious face. You ever smile, Ethan? I did once. What happened? It got stolen. Then I'll have to help you find it. I tried not to react. But she had a way of breaking through my silence without pushing too hard. One afternoon, after I'd spent hours debugging, she leaned against the wall near my desk. You work like you're trying to escape something. Maybe I am. Does running ever work? Not really. And stop running, she said gently. Sit still long enough to heal. Her words caught me off guard. I stared at her, searching for sarcasm. There was none. Just sincerity. I said quietly, you sound like someone who's been there. She looked out the window. Maybe I have. My mother died when I was 15. I tried to fix my dad by working harder than him. It never helped. Pain doesn't leave when you bury it, it grows. I swallowed hard. For the first time in weeks, I felt understood. We started talking during breaks about small things at first. Coffee flavors, music, why people pretend to be okay. She'd laugh at my dull jokes, even the unfunny ones. It felt normal. One evening I was packing up when she stopped me. You look tired, she said. I've been worse. Coffee? It's late, then tea. We ended up in the rooftop lounge, city lights glowing below us. The rain had finally stopped after days of drizzle. She stirred her tea slowly, eyes reflecting the skyline. So, she said, who hurt you? Why do you assume someone did? Because you carry sadness like a jacket, to wear it even when it's warm. I chuckled faintly. You read people too easily, only the ones who remind me of myself. I hesitated. Then, for the first time, I told someone the truth. She was my fiancée. She cheated. More than once. Mia's face softened. I'm sorry. I'm not, I said after a pause. Not anymore. I think I needed to lose her to see what I'd become. She nodded. Sometimes love teaches by breaking you first. The wind brushed her hair across her face, and without thinking, I reached to tuck it behind her ear. She froze but didn't pull away. Sorry, I said quickly. She smiled faintly. Don't be. The silence between us felt alive, filled with something gentle, something that didn't demand. It just existed. She broke it first. You know, my dad says everyone comes into your life for a reason. Do you believe that? I do. Maybe I was supposed to meet someone who forgot how to smile. And you think you can fix that? She grinned. Not fix her mind. When I left that night, I caught my reflection in the elevator mirror. For the first time in months, I wasn't frowning. The next morning, she texted me a photo of the sunrise with a single line. See, storm's end. I stared at it for a long time. Then I replied, "Thanks, Mia." She sent back a smiley face. Her kindness disarmed me. Her laughter felt like light after too long in darkness. I didn't realize it yet, but she was already changing something deep inside me. Slowly. She became my light. I never planned to fall in love again. I thought my heart had turned to dust after Lena. But love doesn't ask, just shows up quietly. It's disguised as laughter and warmth. Mia slipped into my life like morning light through a cracked curtain. One evening, we were walking through the park after work. The sunset painted the sky orange, and her hair caught the glow. "You're quiet again," she said softly. "I'm just not used to this." "To what?" "Peace," I admitted. "Then let it stay," she whispered. She reached out, touching my hand gently. Her fingers were warm, steady. "Ethan, people like her lose people like you forever," she said. Something inside me shifted. I smiled an actual, real smile for the first time in months. She laughed when she saw it. "There it is," she teased. "You do have teeth. Don't get used to it. Too late." "I like it." That was the moment I knew I was falling, and this time, I didn't want to stop myself. Days blurred into something brighter. We started having lunch together. She'd steal my fries and pretend she didn't. "That's theft," I said once. "That's affection," she countered. Big difference. Not to me. Every joke, every small moment slowly rebuilt me. I didn't realize how much I'd missed being seen without judgment. One evening, she invited me to dinner at her father's mansion. I hesitated. "Are you sure he wants me there?" She smirked. "He doesn't have a choice. I already told him you're coming." Her father, Richard Bennett, was a sharp man-gray suit, silver hair, and eyes that could scan a soul. As soon as I entered the dining room, he extended a firm hand. "Ethan, I've heard quite a bit about you," he said. "All good, I hope. We'll find out." The dinner was quiet at first. The air felt heavy with unspoken judgment. Mia tried to break the silence. "Dad, Ethan's been helping me with a few projects." "So I've heard," he said, without looking up. "Tell me, Ethan, what exactly are your intentions with my daughter?" The question hit harder than I expected. Mia shot him a warning glance. "Dad, no?" I interrupted gently. "It's okay." I set down my fork and looked him in the eye. "I don't want her money. I want her peace." The words left my mouth before I could think. The silence that followed was sharp. But then something unexpected happened. His stern expression softened. He leaned back, folding his hands. "Peace," he repeated. "That's rare these days." "So is honesty," I said quietly. For a long moment, we just looked at each other. Then he smiled faintly. "You might actually be good for her." Mia let out a small sigh of relief. "Told you," she muttered under her breath. After dinner, Richard walked me to the door. "You've been through something, haven't you?" he asked. "Haven't we all?" "Yes, but not everyone comes out humble." I nodded. Pain either hardens you or heals you. I guess I'm still figuring out which one I am. He looked at me thoughtfully. "If she makes you smile again, don't let go of her." That night, as Mia walked me out, she grinned. "You survived him. Barely. He likes you." That was liking. In his language, yes. We laughed together under the porch light. It was the kind of laughter that carried ease. It's the kind that heals. She looked at me for a long moment, her voice softer than the wind. "You still think love is a mistake?" "Maybe not anymore." "Good," she said, stepping closer. "Because I'm already in it." Her words hit deep. I didn't speak. I just pulled her close, my heart finally quiet as she rested her head against my chest. I whispered, "You don't know what you've done to me." She smiled. Then I'm doing it right. For the first time since everything fell apart, I felt alive again. The past didn't matter anymore. The rain that once drowned me had somehow watered something new. Love hadn't betrayed me this time, had reborn me. I never imagined I'd wear a suit again for something like this. The last time I did, it was for a divorce hearing. But now, standing in front of the small garden arch wrapped in white flowers, I couldn't stop smiling. Mia walked toward me slowly, her white dress swaying in the soft breeze. Her eyes, God, those eyes held no lies, no shadows. Just truth, she whispered. Why are you looking at me like that? I laughed quietly. Because I can't believe you're real? Her lips curved. I've been real this whole time. You just needed to look past the pain. I took her hand. That pain brought me here, and I should thank it, she said, voice trembling slightly. The officiant cleared his throat, smiling. Shall we begin? We nodded, still locked in each other's gaze. As he read the vows, I barely heard him. My heart was too loud. When it was my turn, I spoke from somewhere deep. Mia, I don't promise perfection. I promise honesty. I've seen what lies can do. I've lived in them, drowned in them, but you pulled me out. She blinked rapidly, her fingers tightening on mine. Ethan, you already gave me everything I ever wanted. What's that? I asked. Peace, she said softly. The officiant smiled. By the power vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife. When I kissed her, it wasn't a fairy tale moment. It was real, like a wound healing. It's like finally exhaling after years underwater. After the guests clapped, we walked out together. The garden lights flickered like tiny stars above us. Mia leaned against me. You okay? I nodded. Better than okay? Are you thinking about her? She asked gently. I hesitated. Maybe a little, but not the way I used to. She smiled faintly. That's good. You don't have to erase your past to love me. I know, I whispered. I just don't want to repeat it. She tugged my sleeve. Then don't. We'll write something new. We reached the small reception. Heiress' close friends, her father, and a few of my old co-workers. No fake smiles, no staged photos. Her dad approached me, his gray eyes still carrying that protective weight. You did good today, son. I smiled. I meant what I said, sir. I don't want her money. I want her peace, he chuckled softly. You already gave her that. I've never seen her smile like this. Maybe because she stopped pretending, I said. He nodded. You too, I think. Mia walked over, looping her arm through mine. Are you two talking about me? Always, her father said warmly. Take care of this fool, Mia. He looks brave, but his heart's too soft. I know, she said, kissing my cheek. That's why I married him. Everyone laughed. For once, laughter didn't sting. Later that night, we stood under the fairy lights, just the two of us. She rested her head on my shoulder. Do you still believe love destroys? I took a slow breath. I thought love destroyed me once. But maybe it was just teaching me. What did it teach you? She asked. That love isn't supposed to fix you, it's supposed to meet you where you're broken. She smiled, eyes glistening. Then we're both beautifully broken. Yeah, I whispered. But together, we make something whole. Soft silence settled. The music faded. Guests left, and the night wrapped around us like a blanket. Ethan, she murmured, tracing circles on my hand. What if we fail someday? Then we start again, I said. But this time, we tell the truth, even when it hurts. She looked up at me. Promise? Promise. We walked toward the car, her dress brushing the ground. I caught her hand before she opened the door, Mia. Yeah. Thank you. For finding me when I wasn't looking? She smiled softly. No, Ethan. You found yourself. I just stayed long enough to see it happen. For the first time in years, I didn't feel like someone rebuilding a ruined life. I felt like someone starting a new one. It took me weeks to decide. The video sat in my phone, untouched, like a secret too pure to weaponize. But that night, after Mia fell asleep beside me, I opened my messages and typed her name, Lena. Her profile picture was new. She looked the same polished, smiling, but her eyes still told stories of emptiness. I hesitated, thumb hovering over the screen. Then I pressed record. "You said I wasn't enough," I whispered, voice low. "But I found someone who sees me as more than enough." I attached a short clip from our wedding night, nothing indecent. Just Mia laughing as I lifted her veil, our foreheads touching. Love radiating from a place Lena never reached. Then I hit send. For a while, nothing happened. I stared at the phone screen, half expecting guilt, half hoping for silence. Then the typing dots appeared. "I chose different," she wrote, "but his love was never yours." Waited, not knowing why. Maybe part of me still wanted her to lie one last time so I could hate her fully. Then another message came. "Your love was the best of all." I stared at those words until they blurred. My chest tightened, not with pain, but finality. I could almost hear her voice saying it. That same soft tone she used the day she walked out. I didn't reply. Karma already had. Mia stirred beside me. "Ethan, you're awake?" "Yeah," I said quietly. She turned half asleep. "You okay?" "I think so," I whispered. I sent the video. Her eyes opened. "To her?" I nodded. She didn't flinch or scold. She just sighed softly. "Was it revenge?" "No," I said. "It was closure. I just needed her to see that I'm not broken anymore." Mia studied me for a moment. "Did it help?" I thought about it. "Yeah, it did." She smiled faintly. "Then that's enough." Silence filled the room again, warm and heavy. I could hear her breathing, steady and calm. The sound of peace I once thought I'd never have. I looked at her hand resting on my chest. "You know, when she left, I thought no one would ever touch me like this again without wanting something."
"Oh," Mia murmured.
"Then stop thinking like that. You're mine now," I smiled. "Yours." Her lips brushed my shoulder before she drifted back to sleep. I lay there, watching the phone light fade. The message thread still glowed faintly, Lena's words frozen forever. "Your love was the best of all." Once, I would have chased her after reading that. Once, I would have begged for more. But not anymore, I whispered into the dark. "No, Lena. It wasn't just love. It was lessons." Right. In the quiet, I remembered the last night we'd fought, her voice sharp, mine breaking. "You never made me feel alive," she'd said. "I gave you everything," I'd shouted. "That's the problem," she'd replied. "You gave too much." Oh, those words didn't burn. They just made sense. Mia's soft hum pulled me back. She was dreaming, smiling in her sleep. And I realized something: I didn't win against Lena. I just stopped losing to her. I unlocked my phone once more, not to reread the messages, but to delete them. One by one, the history disappeared. The pain, the waiting, the betrayal, all erased with a few taps. "Goodbye," I whispered. Pressing delete chat, Mia's voice, sleepy and tender, broke the silence. "What did you say?" "Nothing," I murmured. "Just saying goodbye to someone who doesn't exist anymore." "Oh." She smiled faintly. "Then say hello to me instead." I laughed softly. "Hello, Mrs. Reed." She murmured, "That sounds perfect." I slipped my arm around her and let the phone fall to the floor. Somewhere in the dark, my past finally lost its grip. Outside, rain started to fall against the window. It sounded like applause from the universe itself. For the first time in years, I felt light. Not because I'd hurt someone, but because I'd finally stopped carrying the weight of being hurt. I turned off the light and whispered one last thing, more to myself than anyone else. "She had my history," I said quietly. "But Mia, she has my future." Daniel called me early that morning. His voice sounded uncertain. "Ethan, you might want to know this." I saw her. My grip on the mug tightened. Her Lena. "Yeah, at the cafe on 5th, the one you two used to go to." She was different, man. No makeup, hair all messy. She looked like she hadn't slept in days. I didn't say anything. My heart didn't race this time, it just slowed. She was sitting alone, Daniel continued. No friends, No smile. Just staring at the door like she was waiting for someone who wasn't coming. Maybe she was, I muttered. He hesitated. You okay? I'm fine, I said softly. Thanks for telling me. After we hung up, I sat there for a long time, just watching the steam fade from my coffee. My reflection looked back at me from the cup cum. Quiet. A man who'd finally survived the storm she caused. Later that afternoon, curiosity pulled me near that cafe. I didn't plan to go in. Fate had its own timing. She was there exactly as Daniel said. Alone. A paper cup in front of her. Hands trembling slightly. Her eyes didn't sparkle anymore. They just wandered like she'd lost her map. Part of me wanted to turn around. But my feet stayed rooted. She noticed me first. Her lips parted slightly. Ethan. Yeah, I said quietly. Hey. She looked down. You shouldn't have come. I didn't come for you, I said. Just coffee. A weak smile flickered. You still hate me? I shook my head. No. I stopped doing that a long time ago. She looked out the window, her voice barely a whisper. Jake dumped me. Said I was too complicated. Ryan used me to get into a company deal. Caleb. She sighed. He ghosted me. No message? Nothing. I swallowed. You don't owe me your pain, Lena. I know, she said, her voice trembling. But I needed someone to hear it. Someone who used to love me enough to care. I cared, I said, meeting her eyes. That's what destroyed me. Tears slipped down her cheeks. You were good to me. Better than I ever deserved. Silence settled between Usevi, honest. I used to think power and money could replace love, she said, her tone cracking. But now, I just wish I had peace. The kind you always had, even when I hurt you. You mistook my silence for peace, I replied. It was just pain. I couldn't scream. She nodded slowly. I saw your wedding video, I figured. She's beautiful, Lena whispered. And she looks at you like you're her world? She is, I said simply. Lena smiled faintly, her tears still falling. You found what I threw away. I looked at her, really looked. The woman who once glowed with arrogance now looked human fragile. Lost, real. I hope you find peace, Lena, I whispered. She closed her eyes. I'm trying. I stood, dropping a few bills on the table. Goodbye! She didn't stop me this time. Outside, the air felt lighter. The sky had that gray softness before rain. I breathed in deep, feeling the weight leave my chest. Daniel texted as I walked away. Did you see her? Yeah, I replied. She's not the same. And you? He asked. I typed back, I'm finally me. As I crossed the street, I looked back once. She was still there, hands wrapped around that empty cup, staring into nothing. But for the first time, I didn't feel bitterness. Only pity, and the quiet satisfaction of knowing that karma didn't need my help. It worked just fine on its own. The evening light spilled across the balcony, painting everything gold. Mia leaned against the railing, her hair catching the wind like it belonged to the sunset. I stood beside her, a quiet smile tugging at my lips. You're quiet again, she said. Just thinking, I murmured. About work? About life, I said, glancing at the horizon. And how far we've come. She turned to me, her eyes soft. You mean how far you've come? You built all this from nothing. I laughed quietly. From pain? Actually, pain was my raw material. The company just came later. She touched my arm. You still think about her sometimes, don't you? I took a breath, the ocean breeze filling the silence between us. Only as a reminder, I said, that pain can destroy you or rebuild you. Mia nodded slowly. And you chose to rebuild. I had to, I replied. If I didn't, I'd still be the man crying in the rain, begging life to give me answers. That man doesn't exist anymore, she said firmly. No, I agreed. He died the day I realized love isn't about being needed, it's about being respected. She smiled, a glimmer of pride in her eyes. So what keeps you going now? You, I said simply. You and the peace I fought for. She laughed softly. Peace. You. The man who works 16 hours a day? I'm still learning how to rest, I said. But at least I'm not running from ghosts anymore. She leaned her head against my shoulder. Do you ever regret what happened? Sometimes, I admitted. Not because I miss her, but because I wish I'd known my worth back then. It would have saved me years of pain. Maybe you had to break to find it, she whispered. Maybe, I said. But breaking doesn't hurt as much when you learn how to rebuild. The sun dipped lower, casting long shadows across the balcony. I looked at the skyline, the city I'd once walked through with empty pockets and a broken heart. Now it was mine, piece by piece. Mia followed my gaze. You made all this happen, Ethan. You didn't just rebuild, you became unstoppable. I chuckled. Unstoppable sounds like a movie title. Then you're the main character, she teased. Only because you showed up in the sequel, I said, and she laughed. Nudging my arm, her laughter had that rare kind of warmth, kind that didn't fade when silence returned. Do you ever think, I asked quietly, that everything bad that happened was meant to guide us here? She looked thoughtful. I don't know if it was meant to, but I know you earned this peace. I didn't earn it, I said. I fought for it. She smiled. Then maybe that's what love really is, fighting to stay whole. I nodded. And knowing who's worth fighting for. The air grew still. The waves below whispered against the rocks. Steady and calm like my heartbeat for the first time in years, Mia slipped her hand into mine. You're thinking again, she said. I was just realizing, I said. I'm finally done living in the past. Good, she whispered. Because the future looks beautiful on you. I kissed her forehead gently, closing my eyes. The storm was long gone. The man who once bled for love had finally learned to live for peace, and as the sun vanished behind the horizon, I smiled to myself. I'm not broken anymore, I whispered. I'm unstoppable.